Welcome to the second episode of Mining Your Future Season 2. Now, for those of you who actually paid attention in chemistry class, and we won't get into whether that was myself or not, this next guest is definitely somebody you want to be watching. Norm works at GMR Laboratories, and he is the assayer. Laboratories? So the next job that we're about to follow, an assayer, the way that I think about it is almost a verification process of the exploration process. So an Indiana Jones, for instance, goes out there, he finds a bunch of rock that he thinks is full of gold or silver or platinum or whatever, and well, let's be honest, at the end of the day, that has to be verified. So what happens is a place like this and a guy like Norm, an assayer, gets that material in to verify it. Hello, you must be Norm.
Hi, Maggie.
Very nice to meet you. I have to be very honest. I wasn't great at science in school, so I'm hoping that I learn a lot today. I have a lot of fun, and my request is that you use, layman's terms so that I can wrap my head around as much as possible.
Sure, we'll do that. But let's start with safety.
Ooh, I get a lab coat. You put on a lab coat and you already feel smarter. Isn't that amazing? How's
You look very smart.
There we go.
Like an assayer.
I look like an
Yes, you
assayer. Let's do this. Let's head on inside your wonderful lab.
My name is Norman Hall. I'm the chief assayer of Global Mineral Research. We receive mining samples. Our major clients are mining companies, and we do environmentals. We also do processing of minerals. So the samples, when they arrive in either pulp form or rock.
And when you say, can I touch these?
Yes, you can.
And when you say samples, you're talking about core samples.
Yes, these are core samples.
Right, which got drilled out of the earth. So this is stage one.
This is just stage one.
Receiving. Sounds good.
To make all the samples uniform with the same baseline, we need to dry the samples. Yes. We have a drying room.
A drying room.
The sample are placed inside the drying room until they're dry. So that could be a matter of few hours or a matter of days.
Nice.
And
depends how wet they are.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. And the purpose now is to get it very fine.
You need to break the sample down so it become more manageable.
More manageable. Okay.
The next stage after crushing would be pulverizing, which will break it down to even smaller form.
Oh wow. Okay. So is that what we're doing now? We're taking it to be pulverized?
Yes.
Oh, this is cool.
Any type of person can get into this type of career. All you need is just a lot of common sense, attention to details, and also safety oriented.
You guys have very specific and specialized machinery, and I'm sure it costs a ton of money. A bowl and a stick just doesn't cut it, eh?
Bowl and stick maybe it take longer.
That would take a while.
Take a while.
Oh my goodness, look at these beakers.
This is the wet digestion area.
Okay. Wet digestion area?
That's wet lab.
Wet lab?
Yes.
Okay.
Digestion labs. So right now we are boiling some samples.
We're boiling samples.
Or
This
heating.
is like cooking class.
Yeah, it's just like cooking.
Okay.
When you're trying to make a soup,
Okay.
you want the flavor to come out.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you assume the flavors
Yeah.
are the mineral of interest.
Ah.
But you need heat,
Okay.
you need water
Separate it out.
to extract all the flavors.
Indiana Jones brings his rocks and he says, figure out, if what's inside, and you do it for him. That's amazing. Amazing.
We will all work as a team. It's a team effort. It's a lot of work. It's very tedious. You need a lot of teamwork within this lab to make it flow smoothly.
Oh my goodness, the colors that this gentleman is creating. I could just sit here all day and watch this rainbow take place. So this is your fire assaying machine.
Yes,
It's a very particular.
It is a specific technique. Samples are mixed with dry reagents.
Okay.
Fused at 1,000 degrees Celsius.
Oh wow.
Yes. The flux contains lead. So what the lead does, it will collect the precious metal into the lead.
Okay.
And what remain will be a silver bead,
A silver bead?
a small silver bead.
Oh, nice.
We take our job very seriously. There should not be any hanky-panky around this lab environment.
I know, but everything at the GMR lab was just so cool, I simply couldn't resist getting a closer look. I didn't break a thing. Well, to the best of my knowledge. Well, this has been really, really, really neat.
Hey guys,
Hi!
how's the job shadowing going?
Fantastic, it's really neat. I've learned a ton.
Good,
Far more than Chemistry 12.
excellent, okay. Norman, can you come in the office when you finish? I just want to ask you about those samples for True North Gems.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, thanks.
No worries. True North Gems, is that code for something or is that...
Oh no, that's just a client of us.
Oh, it's a client. Okay, so they're waiting for their results of whatever they brought to you guys, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice. I bet you they're eager.
They will be very eager.
They will be. Well, True North Gems, you'll just have to wait and see. Meeting Norman was a humbling experience for sure. His knowledge of metallurgical test work and assaying is impressive to say the least. If science is your thing, you may want to seriously consider the potential of becoming an assayer like Norm.
Goldcorp is proud to support the Pacific Salmon Foundation, which is a not-for-profit organization that is committed to conserving Pacific salmon in the wild and improving freshwater and marine ecosystems.
We are an industry that impacts the physical environment, and so conservation and the kinds of activities that a group like Pacific Salmon engages in is very important to us.
Regarded as leaders in the field by marine experts and all levels of government, PSF works with community groups, First Nations, and key agencies across the province to deliver programs that are continually making a difference.
Welcome back. That was a ton of fun, and I assure you there was no hanky-panky whatsoever. The laboratory is still right where I left it, I think. Next up, we have Sophie. She's the environmental manager at Lehigh. And even though this lab coat doesn't necessarily fit her job, it makes me feel smarter. So I'm just gonna keep it on. I seriously used to be able to do a duck. Like, I'm not even joking right now. I used to be way better at that once upon a time. We are at Lehigh Hansen in Vancouver at the office. We're waiting to meet Sophie. She's the environmental manager here. She is a very busy lady, a lot of conference calls, a lot of meetings, a lot of on-site visits, and she's actually stuck in a meeting right now that's called a project update meeting. Personally, I am very impressed at all the checks and balances that a company like Lehigh goes through when working on some of their larger projects, but the downside is that we're stuck doing other important things. Anyways, if you guys remember how to do a duck, just tweet us. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Maggie.
Very nice to meet you.
You too.
I am very excited to see what a environmental manager does at Lehigh.
Oh, well, that sounds good. I was just about to head out to one of our project meetings.
Perfect. I'm tagging along.
Sounds good. My name is Sophie Mullen, and I'm the Area Environmental Manager for Lehigh Hansen, and I'm responsible for our operations in British Columbia and Washington State. I provide support to our operations in all different business lines that we have, with the aggregate operations, the ready mix plants, as well as our cement terminals. I'm looking to help them with their environmental impacts, looking to make sure that we manage our stormwater and we manage our air emissions, as well as any potential complaints for noise and dust and that kind of thing. What I enjoy about it is that there's having that constant dialogue, whether it's with affected First Nations or the community within which that you operate, as well as just your employees, and making sure that they're aware of their environmental responsibilities, because everybody has a role to play. It's important that we work together to continue to operate within these communities, and really Lehigh focuses on making sure that we have a social license basically to operate that allows us to continue our operation within the community, and ensuring that we have the ability to respond to their concerns and minimize any impact that they may have. It really allows us to sort of continue to make sure that the company that we work for is providing the necessary consultation and having that human aspect to the way that we do business. We mine sand and gravel at our Seashell mine. We transport it to our operations and as well as to the Lower Mainland by tug and barge.
It's 2 a.m. in the morning, or it will be in a couple minutes anyway. And we're right above Granville Island, waiting for the Lehigh barge to come in from Seashell. When I was working earlier today with Sophie, she mentioned that one of the most beautiful things when the barge comes in, I'm pretty sure she meant for us to meet her here. You're shaking your head. Dave's shaking his head no. Okay, Dave doesn't think that's what she meant, but I think that's what she meant. So we're here, and she'll show up for sure because it's beautiful. Even though it's late, it's still very nice. And the barge should be coming in any minute, so I think Dave was right. Sophie didn't mean for us to meet her at 2 a.m., but I'm sure glad I went because I learned something fantastic. Lehigh not only minimizes their carbon footprint by not using trucks to transport the aggregate, but also goes out of their way mobilizing staff late at night to keep community disturbances to a minimum.
I probably spend close to 70% of my time working on managing major projects or working with permits and regulators, a lot of meetings, and just to make sure that we are continuing our operations and able to permit our new facilities so that there's always an aggregate resource. I do think that having that corporate social responsibility is key. It ensures that you can have a sustainable operation, and it ensures that you can continue to be in business for a longer time.
During university, where Sophie was getting her biology degree, she worked one summer part-time at a coal mine as an environmental planner. She loved it. They ended up hiring her full-time, and her environmental career took off. Welcome back. They made me take the lab coat off. Next up, we have Kaylee from Goldcorp. I am super excited to show you guys what Kaylee does because even though she takes care of a lot of traditional marketing and communication type initiatives, she also, in her umbrella, has social media. Social media has changed completely the way that we do business now in the corporate world, and I can't wait for you guys to see how Kaylee does it. It is a gorgeous Vancouver morning, and I am so excited to meet Kaylee at Goldcorp because she takes care of social media, among other things, in the communications department. It is by far one of my favorites. I love the story of how social media has changed business and is currently still changing commerce, so I can't wait to head upstairs and take a look. You must be Kaylee.
Hi, Maggie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was told I'd find you on this floor.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm just tweeting right now.
Tweeting.
Yes.
Nice. I understand that social media is a huge role in what you do, a huge part of your tasks, and I can't wait to spend the day with you.
Me too. My name is Kaylee Gattens, and I'm the Communications Coordinator at Goldcorp. As Communications Coordinator at Goldcorp, I'm responsible for distributing our corporate publications to our mine sites and operations. I'm also in charge of publishing content on our internal website as well as our external. And the best part of my job is I manage our social media channels.
It must be neat to be the only one allowed to be like on your phone, not only on your phone, but on Facebook and on Twitter and on your phone.
People walk by and I'm on Facebook and Twitter all day. It's kind of, they give me the eye.
Well, totally,
but
right?
it's for work.
Because so many companies, when Facebook came about,
Yeah.
I remember when it first
Banned them.
Banned it.
Why on earth would a mining company be using social media? As my generation starts to enter the workforce, it's very important that we're engaging in these online discussions. And you may be thinking that only stuff that flies back and forth on social media are cat videos or photos of what you ate that day. These are conversations around community engagement, human rights, environmental issues, as well as our stock price. It's important that we are engaging in a way that we're remaining transparent as a publicly traded company and that we comply with the regulations. So when I get to work every morning, I take a good portion of the morning to go through our social media channels and see if there's anywhere that we can reactively post or proactively create some content for the week. It's absolutely a team effort with all content that's pushed across all channels, but I just get to be the lucky one that clicks publish.
Nice.
As Goldcorp, we have operations in all across the Americas, and one cool thing is I could tweet something in Vancouver and it's being heard or read from someone in Argentina or in Mexico City. I helped implement a Spanish website because the majority of our employees are in Central and South America.
Don't you have to speak Spanish to be able to implement Spanish content?
Sí, yo hablo español.
No way, you speak Spanish? That is so neat. Why is it that you speak Spanish?
I lived in Barcelona. Upon moving back to Vancouver, I got this job at Goldcorp and it's just turned into my dream job. I'm passionate about what I do. Using social media is a way to leave a positive legacy in the online community. At Goldcorp, we're responsible, respected, and welcomed everywhere we do business, so it only makes sense to do the same online. Probably the most valuable and transparent form of communication we have is our above ground blog. The most valuable parts of having a blog is it allows for people to provide their feedback on the postings and also comment on the issues. And any feedback we get is taken very seriously, and those who follow and subscribe to it can provide their feedback on the postings. And it's a very transparent way for us to connect with our stakeholders and respond to the most popular topics. The most recent post that we have was on growing our trust with a First Nations agreement taking place in Red Lake. And so how we went about promoting that was once we click publish on our blog, a tweet would be sent out over our Twitter account, and then we would follow up with the highlights from that news release as a small campaign to complement the topic. In all honesty, trying to fit a message into 140 characters is tough. When I'm used to writing 140 pages as a communications and poli-sci graduate. When I was in university, social media amongst my friends was used to plan the next great party or complain about our next big exam. And now the coolest part of my job is I get to monitor on top of my tasks as communications coordinator what's going on the different channels. Oh my gosh, we're at 3,016 followers. It's actually such a good thing.
It must be sort of an internal celebration that takes place when you break every 1,000 people, right?
Yeah, we give a little woo moment.
Kaylee went to the washroom and she left the Goldcorp Twitter page open. I am so tempted to, I won't.
He's on a call.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
Hi. I think someone tweeted while you were away.
Did you? People want to know what's going on in Vancouver and people want to know what's going on in Argentina. So what better place than to do that over social media, because it's fast, it's interactive, and you get the information.
I think a lot of the companies realize that saying things like, oh, we don't have time for social media isn't good enough anymore. And you have to engage through Twitter, through Facebook, through YouTube, or else you kind of miss the bus. And since a lot of the individuals running the company and other departments don't have the time to do that, in my opinion, I think it's such a great thing that roles such as yours evolved.
Absolutely.
In order not to be able to have the excuse of, well, we don't have time for social media, that's why we're not on it.
The SEC is now changing their regulations to be able to guide what's going on and monitor what's going on the online communities. With more and more companies starting to engage, that means a higher level of regulation needs to take place.
Makes sense.
So we're off to my 3 o'clock meeting. We're meeting Ben, and he's our senior corporate counsel at Goldcorp.
corporate counsel? That sounds like a lawyer.
He is a lawyer.
Oh, wow, okay. And what would you be meeting him for?
So he is just going to update me on the new regulations for social media.
Right, to make sure that we're within the rules and regulations of what you guys can and can't do.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds very interesting and exciting at the same time. My God, this place is huge.
Hey Ben, are you ready for 3 o'clock?
Hey, come on in.
Great. Great. I'm excited to hear what the SEC has in store for us today.
Well, let's get started.
Sounds good. Mining hasn't always been shown in the most positive light, and what I like about social media is the fact that we can communicate in an open and transparent way.
How is it that the two worlds intertwine? Something as sort of fun and fluffy as social media and marketing and the legal world, really.
Yeah, well, certainly the SEC is starting to really pay attention to what companies are starting to put on their social media sites. So companies like Goldcorp need to ensure that our disclosure is accurate and current and not misleading.
See, what did I tell you?
Wow.
Social media and law have something in common.
They do, and you have to be careful what you tweet out there.
Exactly. I feel very lucky to be part of the communications team at Goldcorp because a large part of my job, social media, is supported by our senior management. Even our CEO is supportive of the growth of our social media channels, and I'm really excited for the coming year and how we can engage.
A ton of responsibility and accountability goes along with managing corporate social media. Kaylee does a great job of juggling all of these channels for Goldcorp, both proactively and reactively. It's very different than managing personal pages, but if this is the side of marketing that you hope to get into one day, it's never too early to start practicing your professional social media touch. So, what do you think? Social media a hobby or a pretty powerful corporate communications tool? That's what I thought. Next week, we just might be traveling across the country. Toronto, Montreal, Quebec. I'm not sure. You'll have to tune in. For Mining Your Future, I'm Maggie Dorf.